Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and this is our third video on my current programming for 2021. I am running an extremely bad idea by most people's standards. I am doing extremely long kettlebell sets. I'm shooting for the 30 to 60 minute non-stop mark. And I'm only setting these goals because I don't have any competing sports right now. I no longer have aerial to train for. I no longer have jiu-jitsu or martial arts to train for. And I no longer am allowed to go to CrossFit or fitness classes. So I am setting weirder goals, and I'm trying to push into time frames that I myself have not done before. People do this all the time. This is called Kettlebell Marathoning. I was unaware of it until my friend Mike pointed out to me that that's actually a thing. It's a sport. He sent me all the rules on it, and I've read them. It sounds hard. So what I'm doing is I'm not mimicking the actual sport itself. I am mimicking the time frames of the sport for now because there's no competition. So why not just have fun with it? What it is some version of anything alternating with a long cycle. Could be clean, long cycle, snatch, long cycle, etc., 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 until I fill the time frame. I'm doing that 3 days a week. Think about that being Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. On my other days, right now, for this month, I am doing Mace on my alternate days. 60 minutes to be precise. 60 minutes of Mace 3 times a week. This is not super complicated like Mace flow. This is Mace building blocks. And what I am doing during these times is thinking about things to make videos about for you guys. How do I communicate the information and break it down into small pieces? And I essentially set up a timer and I practice for that amount of time. My lightweight is 12.5 pounds. My mace is from MF Refab. It's my fancy sexy mace, which I love so very, very dearly. And my heavy mace is 17.5 pounds. These are off of normal weights. Normal steel mace weights would be 10 pounds and 15 pounds. I want more steps all the time. Last year in 2020, I used a 10 and a 15, and I ran something similar where I did 60 minutes at a time, and I wanted to get better. So I called MF Refab, and I had him make me a 12.5. I used that for a while. It takes a while to get used to different maces because different maces have different centers of balance, and the handles on the MF Refab are very, very sexy. But if it's 100 degrees outside in Los Angeles, it takes a while to get used to the pattern of the handle. Recently, he sent me a 17.5 pound at the beginning of this year. In 2021, I unopened it here in the barn. The way that this program is running is 12.5 pound mace light, 60 minutes. What we are doing is 90-second sets. Do one exercise for 90 seconds nonstop. Take no break. Go to the other side. Do it on the other side. Add a step. Do 90 seconds. Add a step. Do 90 seconds. Do not put the mace on the ground for 60 minutes. Do not stop moving for 60 minutes. This is an unreasonable idea, and I do not expect anybody to start to do this without a lot of training first. You should definitely be doing heavy clubs before you attempt to do something like this because you need to have very, very, very good structure and know how to do it without knocking your teeth out or destroying something. For those 90-second sets, that gives me 40 total rounds, 40 total 90-second set rounds. And I'm matching left hand and right hand. I always start with my weak hand first, and then I go to my right hand. That means that I have 20 variations in that amount of time. It's not crazy. That's not a lot of variations. I have made over 60 videos now for Mace, which means you could do different variations, a lot of them. That's the whole point of me continuing to make small jump Mace videos, is that people will be able to build up like this over time, and then they'll find a new route, and then they'll find something new that I don't know. That's the whole point. We're all supposed to discover Mace. Mace is like a free flow, fun, creative part of training. Then we have our 17.5 pound mace, which is our heavy mace. And that is 60-second sets. The 17.5 is pretty beastly when you start trying to do some specific moves. It has a lower time under tension than the light day. 60 seconds on each side is 2 minutes. Multiply that by 30 and you get 60 minutes. So we have 30 variations of mace on this heavy day. The complexity jumps may be much smaller. When I start over with a new mace, anytime I get a new mace, I go back to the absolute basics. And I start doing two-handed 360s, two-handed 10 to 2s, single arm inside circle, single arm outside circle, alternating circles. And that's the first 5 variations. And then you build out from there. But we are always focusing on the basics first, because if your basics are good, then you can be good. If your basics suck, so this whole idea here is a Tetris of training idea, and it's not going to work out perfectly. There's going to end up being 2 light days in a row and 2 heavy days in a row, but kind of there are no light days and no heavy days. Light and heavy at this point is a philosophical thing, really, that we're trying to follow. We're alternating weights and alternating things each time. If the kettlebell is 18K at 60 minutes, and this kettlebell is 20K at 40 minutes, there's kind of, these days are really just changing the load on the body and moving the body around. Think about kettlebells as being extremely front to back curvilinear, right? You can do lots and lots of inside circles with kettlebells and everything else, and I've made many videos on those, but right about minute 30 inside circles with a heavy weight start to get really dicey because of the amount of sweat pouring off of your body and onto the kettlebell. So you're going to start moving things back into a front to back plane of movement in order to not drop it or throw it across the room and knock a hole in the wall, because it is essentially a cannonball with a handle on it. Mace is the same way. Think about starting with your basic movements, your simplest movements for your first 10 to 20 minutes. And then in the middle 20 minutes, get crazy. And then in the last 20 minutes, start trying to survive and not drop it or destroy anything. Usually I find the most fun and creative movements in the last 20 minutes when I go from simple warm-up moves into complex moves that I already know. And then in the last 20 minutes, I think of something or something I've seen. Today I was thinking about that movie Troy, because I'm always thinking about movies. I'm that kind of nerd. I can't remember the big guy when they hit the beach and he's got the giant war hammer. He's got some specific name in the Iliad, but I don't remember what it is. I will look it up. I should know it. It's embarrassing that I don't know it. But the movement that he does in that 2-second clip in that movie, I spent 20 minutes building a progression to recreate that movement because it's fun. This is the rest of my current strategy. We already had the 2 videos on the kettlebells, and now we're integrating the mace into this idea. This idea will generally hold until something makes me change this idea. I am saving my heavy club stuff for the spring, and I am saving my hydrocore stuff for the spring because it's, I don't know, last time I checked it was 15 degrees out here, and I don't really want to bring a water-filled bag out here and have it expand and destroy the hydrocore. So I am sticking with this idea for now. This has been Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica with an unreasonable idea.